Hello and welcome to this course using Python in an HPC environment. This is the second day, and for the schedule today, we can click here and scroll down, and we will start with an introduction, then talk about packages, and then about installing packages, isolated environments, basic batch and Slurm, interactive work on the compute nodes, starting IDEs from the command line, and GFX Launcher Desktop on Demand, including IDEs, and then about using the IDEs. And we also have some links here. If you have forgotten how to log in, you can find instructions here. We can also download a tarball with exercises. If you have forgotten about how to use a text editor, there are some instructions here. An overview of the clusters that we have in NAISS and in Sweden. These are here, not including Alvis, which could maybe be included later. And information about the different NAISS project numbers for the compute, and also the project folders for storage for this course. I can also mention a bit about the new system Arrhenius, where we have some information here. So it's about the end of life of the Alvis cluster and Tetralit and Dardel. And I believe that those of you who will be affected by this will get information directly from centers. So in principle, some projects will be migrated over to the new system Arrhenius. We have some timelines here. Or you will have to apply for new projects at Arrhenius in the future. If your project ends rather soon. Thank you. The local clusters, like Kebnekaise, Pell and Cosmos, will still be available for local university users. Several more years, it seems. So if we go back to this schedule, we have the introduction. And this is just to get knowledge about the course content, which I basically went through. The evaluation, yes, if you see this within a week or so, you may go to this form, fill it in. This is a pre-evaluation. And here is also a link to the tarball with exercises. So with that, I think we continue to the next lesson, which is using packages. And yeah, Python packages, they are important because they are pieces of tested Python code. So for instance, if you are programming something, but then there is a Python package for the same thing, it might be better to use that one because it has been tested in a good way. And also, instead of inventing the wheel again, you can use what others have done. With that said, it's not, well, everything is not about packages. So packages is, you can say, yeah, something to stand on. So you write your own code, but then you use the methods from the packages to do what you want. So we have also some definitions here. Libraries, these are collection of code used by a program. A package is a library that has been made easily installable and reusable. So, for instance, from pip, so you can install with pip a package. More about that in the coming lessons. Often these are published on public repositories as a PPI. Yeah, so about yeah, so this will be covered by the pip. Dependency is another thing. That's a requirement of another program, not included in that program. So, for instance, with packages, some packages will be dependent on other ones, and we'll see that later on in this course. So here we have a list of some packages that are used in the scientific community a lot. NumPy, for instance, for numerics. Plotting, we have Matplotlib. Also Seaborn will be covered today. That data analysis, pandas, but we will also briefly mention Dusk and Xarray, which are used for scaled up data. We also have the interactive computing human interface related also to IDEs, integrated development. I always forget the last thing. So editor or environment. Yes. It could be packages about, yeah, so helping Python to read specific data format. For instance, H5, HDF5. Also spinning up code and parallelisms, NPI for Pi, Numba and Dusk. Machine learning, scikit-learn, and deep learning, PyTorch, TensorFlow, and Keras. So most of these will be covered during this week. So when you're on a HPC cluster, there might be a Python from the system that you can start at any time. But that one is quite often rather old and not supported really, because we don't install any packages for it. So instead, we use the software modules because that helps users to decide on which version they want. So this is true for the Python, so Python version, but also package versions. And this helps to assure reproducible research. And there are other ways to do this with isolated environments, but that we will cover in a later lesson. So where do we find the Python packages? Well, they could be included inside a Python software module. So you, for instance, on Dardel, you can load Cray Python, and then you will get many installed Python packages. At other centers, we have package modules or bundle modules that, and if you don't find it here, if you don't find a package that you need, then you may install it yourself as a user. So here you see how it differs among the clusters. So it could be as for Dardel, where some are included in the Python module, but also with the bundle modules like for Alvis. This link goes to this page, which gives some information about how things are working. So for instance, NumPy, if you are on a system where you have bundle modules, then you will find NumPy in the SciPy bundle. So that means that you will load this one. Pandas, it's also included here, and also the SciPy package will be included here. But on the other hand, matplotlib will have its own module, as you see, which is the case for all the other examples here. Here you also see where they are available, and they might be available at Alvis as well. But as this will be decommissioned soon, I didn't put them here. But probably they will all be available here until summer, basically, for general use. Here you can also get some information about the so-called tool chains that are used. So once or twice per year, there will be a new version of a bundle. And yes, you can read more about this here. So for instance, if you load something from 2025, you will get the Python version 3.13.5. Everything will be based on the GCC compiler 14.3, and the bundle version could be named by this one. So it was released in July 2025, for instance. So this GFBF means that we have some numerics libraries like LAPACK or FlexiBLAS or fast forward. No, what we call for fast Fourier transform. And GOMPI means that there will be an MPI library for parallelisms. If you're more interested in this, you can click this link. And also make sure that the bundles that you use bundles that are compatible with each other. And sometimes it might be better to use an isolated environment instead, where you can fix and trick with, if you know what you're doing, maybe this will be better. Yes. Yes, and this information you can also find in the extra. So here you will have some extra material that is not covered during the lessons, but you can look into yourself when you have time. So how to see which Python package is installed? Well, you can use the piplist command, or you can test inside a Python interpreter with the import. So if you, for instance, run a script and then you get an error that okay, SciPy was not found, then you will see you will know that, and you have to install it or load one of the modules depending on which system you are at. So the exercises is about using the Python packages. So this is how to load the Python versions, and also find the packages and so on. also see the documentation of your cluster and see if you can manage to follow that one. So in some systems, it might not be well documented, and then you can send a support ticket to ask them to improve it if necessary. Yes, and this is what we just covered. And this is just about different packages for different topics. So with that, good luck with exercises and see you next lesson.